A very good evening to you and a warm welcome to the news live on Rupavahini. And on behalf of everyone here at Rupavahini, we'd like to wish all our viewers a very happy Thai Pongal. I'm Sharifa Tahir.
A very good evening too. I'm Charita Vinapurarache, and let's move on to the headlines for tonight's news.
Hindu devotees world over celebrate Thai Pongal with gratitude to Sun God. The President was warmly welcomed by the Chinese government. Several bilateral agreements are to be signed. The President meets his Chinese counterpart tomorrow. Sri Lanka Customs says the congestion of containers will be eased within the next 10 days. The digital identity card will be issued to all citizens in the near future. 95% of the money for fertilizer subsidy has been released. Wildfires in Los Angeles are still raging.
On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with the top local story. Hindu devotees world over celebrate Thai Pongal with gratitude to Sun God today.
The objective of the commemoration is to extend gratitude and to recall the services of the sun to maintain and enhance agriculture, which is the foundation of their livelihood. Day of Thai Pongal, the Hindu community pay homage to the sun god by carrying out religious observances and activities in Hindu kovils. Accordingly, the Hindu devotees prepare Pongal in decorated clay pots in the paddy fields in which they engage in agricultural activities and offer the first offering of Pongal prepared from the first portion of the harvest to the sun god as an expression of gratitude. Hindu devotees also engage in religious observances by boiling milk outdoors in front of their respective homes and preparing Pongal while offering the prepared foods for the sun god. Subsequently, they visit kovils dressed in their new clothes and engage in festivities in the company of friends and relations.
President Anura says that all Sri Lankans now have the opportunity to go forward with the hope of a beautiful life amidst the deep enthusiasm occurred in the country. The President made these remarks issuing a message for the Thai Pongal Day celebrations. The President further said that the Thai Pongal celebrations is more significant in enhancing inner and outer coexistence of the society with the move towards development. It is a matter to be happy that the Thai Pongal celebrations have coincided with the Clean Sri Lanka project that has been launched as a transformative initiation of the social development and with the new direction towards environmental and ethical aspects. The President stresses that the government has accepted a responsibility to achieve righteous things for the society. He stressed, therefore, Thai Pongal celebrations have become a blessing for them to go forward with resolution to challenge all disruptions.
Issuing a Thai Pongal Day message, Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya says that this festival is a collection of cultural values that gives priority for gratefulness towards the nature. The country, which has attended to a significant milestone at present, all has the responsibility of directing the country towards an era of renaissance through attitudinal change. This transformative change is a significant occasion for the country. The Prime Minister also wishes Happy Thai Pongal Day for all.
Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa says that paying gratitude is a responsibility that should be correctly socialized by the present society for the well-being of the future. Issuing a message, the opposition leader says that the values emphasized by the Thai Pongal celebrations should be correctly recognized by the ruling party, who is accountable for the social welfare. Therefore, the celebrations Thai Pongal collectively will lead to a protect cultural heritage in the country.
Hindu devotees throughout the island celebrated the dawn of Thai Pongal today in a grand manner. Our correspondents say that Thai Pongal celebrations have been organized in almost all the areas in the island. People in the northern and eastern provinces celebrated Thai Pongal festival this morning according to Hindu traditions. A large crowd of devotees were present at the Kandasamy Kovil in Vavuniya for the early morning Thai Pongal rituals. A special Thai Pongal festival was also held at the historic Sri Mamangeshwara temple at Amritakali in Batticlaw. Hindu devotees in the upcountry areas as well as celebrated Thai Pongal Day traditionally with enthusiasm. The main puja was held at the Sri Manikapillayar temple in Hatton and the Kadireshan Kovil in Badulla. A Thai Pongal celebration was also held at the Prime Minister's office, giving priority to traditional rituals. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, several ministers and parliamentarians, officials of the Prime Minister's office and many others were present at this occasion. Hindu people in the Kandy district also joined in the Thai Pongal celebrations today. Hindu religious observances were held at the Sri Muttumari Amman Kovil in Mathale. Deputy Minister of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs, Gamakethara Disanayaka, also participated in the ceremony. Hindu devotees in the Colombo city also celebrated Thai Pongal in a grand manner. One of the festivals was held at the Soisapura flats in Moritua. A large crowd had gathered at the special puja held at the Mayurapati Kovil in Vallavatta. Hindu devotees in Gaul celebrated Thai Pongal Day at the Shivam Kovil in Gaul and Kadira Velayudha Swami Kovil in Kalvalla. The special Thai Pongal ceremony at the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation premises was held under the patronage of Chairman Gihan De Silva and Director General Manojanadishana Amarasinghe. A large number of staff members were also present at this occasion. Another ceremony was held at the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation premises. It was organized by the SLBC Chairman Udita Gaishan Gunasekara and members of the top management. Chairman of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Gihan De Silva, also joined this ceremony. It was significant that a foreign lady who was passing the area at that time also joined the occasion.
I would like to share with you my wonderful experience here today in the Thai Pongal ceremony, the festival of the sun god. I was very surprised to walk by on the street to find this festival with lots of colors, with lots of wonderful people inviting me, showing me, telling me about this thing. And I've had even some good food, traditional food. And this has been a really good, wonderful day. By surprise for me.
Moving on to more local stories, President Anura Kumara Disanayaka, who embarked on a state visit to China at the invitation of Chinese President Xi Jinping, arrived at Beijing International Airport today at 10:25 a.m. Beijing time.
Sri Lankan President was warmly welcomed by the Chinese government. President Anura Kumara Disanayaka left the country for China from the Katunayaka airport last night. The president was accompanied by ministers Vijay Herath, Bimal Ratnayaka and Director General of Government Information HSKJ Bandara. Upon his arrival, the president was accorded a ceremonial welcome by the Chinese military and he was formally received by China's Deputy Foreign Minister Sheng Jiandong. The president will stay in China until the 17th of this month. He is scheduled to meet his counterpart Xi Jinping tomorrow evening. Furthermore, several memoranda of understanding aimed at strengthening bilateral cooperation between Sri Lanka and China are expected to be signed during the visit. Director General of the Government Information HSKJ Bandara said that the President will visit the exhibition hall that consists of the history of the Chinese Communist Party. He said that when the President will visit the Chinese Prince King Mansion. He said that the President will pay tribute to the Mao Zedong Memorial Monument. He also said that in this evening the President will be accepted by his counterpart Xi Jinping at the Chinese Public Hall with special state honours. He further said that there the two leaders will have bilateral talks and sign several memoranda of understanding. It is visible that many roads in the Beijing city has been decorated with national flags of the two countries to celebrate the President's arrival.
According to Sri Lanka Customs, the container congestion in the Colombo Port would be solved in 10 days. Increase in imports has been cited as a reason to the container congestion by the Customs. A number of decisions have been taken during the discussion held recently under the patronage of President Anura regarding the delay in the release of containers in the Colombo harbour. The Customs says although today is a holiday, a number of containers have been released. During the past 24 hours, 472 of containers have been released from the main terminal, while 547 containers have been released to the gates of the port. Accordingly, a considerable number of containers which were stuck have been released according to the Sri Lanka Customs. Media spokesman of the Sri Lanka Customs, Sivali Arunkoda, said that steps would be taken to get rid of the delay and congestion of the containers within 10 days of time. He added that Sri Lanka Customs is now ready to enter into a methodology where the daily release of containers in the future would be cleared. The media spokesman pointed out that there has been an increase in the number of containers and an increase in the imports also. He pointed out that there are 3 terminals for the inspection of containers and the space in those 3 terminals is not sufficient to handle the increased number of imports. He further said that according to the instructions given by the President, the Sri Lanka Customs has implemented a special program to minimize the congestion. He also said that although yesterday and today were government holidays, all the 3 terminals are opened for the inspection of containers, and out of them, the RCT terminal would be in operation for 24 hours.
The Deputy Minister of Digital Economy, Eranga Veeraratne, says that the program to issue digital identity cards to all citizens will be implemented soon. In a media briefing today, he said that this will be a major activity in the process of taking the country towards a digital economy. Discussions have been in progress since 2012 for the introducing of a digital identity card. The suggestion came as a solution to certain problematic conditions existing in the present ID. Still, no government has been able to introduce the digital ID so far. According to the election manifesto of the President government, a major activity of the journey of the country towards digital economy could be the introduction of the digital ID. Deputy Minister Engineer Eranga Veeraratne said that the national identity card is being used to prove the identity at present and a number of problems are present in it. He added that there are problems created by others using the ID card and the government proposes 3 methodologies in solving that and to prove one's identity. One of them is the fingerprint, and the shape of the face and the shape of the iris of the eye are the other 2 methods. The Deputy Minister added that in future any person will have to prove identity through these 3 methods. It is expected that an amount of 20 billion rupees will have to be spent for the project of providing digital identity cards. The Government of India has agreed to provide a 50% assistance for this purpose, and an Indian company is expected to provide the technical assistance to Sri Lanka to this project. Deputy Minister Engineer Eranga Veeraratne said that the Indian assistance has been proposed before 2 years, but the previous suggestion happened during the tenure of the former President Ranil Wickremesinghe. He added that an Indian company obtained bar data stating that the system would be in operation for 2 years. The Deputy Minister also pointed out that after the present government came into power, it has been completely changed and it has been decided that access in the system should be only under the government. He also pointed out that Indian companies will not have any permission to enter the system system and no one will be able to take out the data in it. The Deputy Minister stressed that no unauthorized person will be able to approach those data and will not be exchanged anywhere outside. He further said that the data would be confirmed 100% before it is entered to the system.
Agrarian Development Commissioner General U.B. Rohana Rajapaksa says that an amount of 18,035 million rupees have been provided to farmers so far as the fertilizer subsidy. He points out that accordingly 95% of the fertilizer subsidy funds have been already given to 25 districts. Commissioner General of Agrarian Development U.B. Rohana Rajapaksa said that an amount of 10,000 million rupees had been allocated by the Treasury on the 3rd of January. He said that 6,379 million rupees out of the total amount of funds have been distributed among 320,000 farmers, which includes a land area of 173,000 hectares. With the release of this amount, an amount of 16,369 million rupees have been released so far to the farmers, totaling a number of 999,000. He further said that another 1,666 million rupees would be given to the farmers by the 15th of January to facilitate 97,000 farmers, totaling a land amount of 51,553 hectares. The highest amounts of funds have been allocated to the Anura district, and Ampara and Kurunegala districts become second and third districts respectively. Commissioner General further said that the total amount of fertilizer subsidy to be released to 25 districts of the country is now in the final stage. He also pointed out that it is accurate to say that 95% of the subsidy has now been released. In the meantime, the Meteorology Department says that rains can occur throughout the island today and moderate rains of 75 millimeters are also expected in certain areas. The historic Somavatiya sacred site has been temporarily closed down due to the inundation of the approach of roads since the Mahavali River in Spate. According to our correspondent, by now the road is about 2 feet underwater. The police life-saving unit and civil defence officials have taken steps to provide transport facilities by tractors to the devotees who arrive for pujas and worship on the sacred site. The water level of the Mahavali River basin is sharply rising by now with continuous rain. Severe damage has been caused when a wall collapsed on a house at a Dambawin area in Valimada. None of the residents were in danger due to the incident. Rains are continuing in the area since 4 days. Sluice gates of the Raja Angana reservoir have been opened now. A volume of 2,900 cubic feet per second is being released to Kalawaya.
Minister Dr. Nalini Johathisa says that preparing an official environment with necessary facilities, providing immediate solutions to problems faced by health professionals who always perform their duties for the people will be a main aim of the Ministry of Health. He points out that with these, a continuous health service which will be fruitful and qualitative could be provided to the people by the ministry. Made these observations at discussions held with the trade union representatives recently. The Health and Mass Media Minister pointed out that a better, effective and qualitative service can be provided to the people by keeping the health professionals in a state of professional satisfaction. The Minister, while pointing out that the professional problems and suggestions presented by the trade union representatives were extremely justifiable, added that action will be taken to provide just and ordered solutions as quickly as possible for the issues. The Minister was of the opinion that all the professionals in the health sector are maintaining an exceptional understanding among their professionals and fulfilling their responsibilities to the letter. He added that the protest and strikes can be minimized by performing duties with mutual understanding with everyone. He requested that all trade unions to support the program carried out by the government is providing qualitative and an optimum health service to the people, and the trade union representatives agreed to the support.
With President Anura Kumara Disanayaka's departure from the country for a state visit to China, 5 acting ministers have been appointed to oversee key ministries. Acting ministries have been appointed for 3 ministries under the President's purview: the Ministry of Digital Economy, the Ministry of Defence and the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Additionally, acting ministers have been assigned to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism, as well as the Ministry of Transport, Highways, Ports and Civil Aviation. Deputy Minister Iranga Veeraratne is acting as the Minister of Digital Economy. Deputy Minister Anura has been appointed as the Acting Minister of Defence. Minister of Labour Dr. Anil Jayanta Fernando has been appointed as the Acting Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Deputy Minister of Arun Hemachandra is acting as the Acting Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism. Deputy Minister Dr. Prasanna Kumara Gunasena has the responsibility of functioning at the Ministry of Transport, Highways, Ports and Civil Aviation.
And now let's view more local news items in brief. A bus collided a three-wheeler from behind at the Bigoda area, causing fatal injuries to the two persons in the three-wheeler. They have been admitted to the Homagama Base Hospital. Navagama police has arrested a suspect with 4 kilograms of ice narcotics, 790 grams of heroin and a sum of 120,000 rupees said to be earned by selling drugs. The 37-year-old suspect is a resident in Koratota area. Deputy Minister of Fisheries, Aquatic and Ocean Resources Ratnagam again joined a special inspection tour at the Bayerville Fisheries Harbour. He held lengthy discussions with the management of the Fisheries Society regarding the shortcomings of the harbour. Stay tuned with international news after this break.
Dengue, 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 dengue. Dengue, 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 dengue. Dengue.
Welcome back. We move on to news overseas now. Additional water tankers and scores of firefighters arrived at the Los Angeles area yesterday ahead of fierce winds that were forecast to return and threaten the progress made so far on two massive fires that have destroyed thousands of homes and killed at least 24 people.
Planes douse homes and hillsides with bright pink fire retardant chemicals, while crews and fire engines were being placed near particularly vulnerable spots with dry bush. Dozens of water trucks rolled to the replenish supplies after hydrants ran dry last when there were two largest fires erupted. Tabitha Prusen and her boyfriend says that she feels like they are teetering off the edge with the constant fear that their neighborhood could be the next under threat. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass and other officials expressed confidence on Monday that the region was ready to face the NIM threat, with additional firefighters brought in from the US as well as Canada and Mexico. Fire officials advised residents and the high-risk area to leave home and not wait for normal evacuation orders. If they sense danger, the death toll is likely to rise in Los Angeles County Sheriff Robert Luna said Monday. At least 2 dozens were missing, and he said. Luna said that understand the people are eager to return to their homes and neighborhoods to survive the damages, but they asked for the patience.
Rescuers have hoisted illegal miners and several bodies from an abandoned gold mine in South Africa, where reports emerged that hundreds may be trapped and at least 100 may have already died. A professional mine rescue company sent a large cage into the mine shaft near Stilfontein. Meanwhile, Sabelo Minguni, a spokesman for the mining affected communities United in Action Group, said that a mobile phone sent to the surface with some rescued miners last week had 2 videos on it showing dozens of bodies underground wrapped in plastic. A minimum of 100 men had died in the mine, where police was launched an operation in November to force the miners out of the illegal operation. The miners are suspected to have starved to death or died of dehydration, according to a community leader yesterday. 26 survivors were also brought out by the officials through a rescue operation conducted by the authorities. South African Police Service spokesman said they were still verifying information on how many bodies had been recovered and how many survivors were brought out after starting a new rescue operation. Authorities now hope to bring all of the survivors out of the mine. The mine has been the scene of a standoff between police and miners since authorities first attempted to get the men out and seal the mine 2 months ago. Police said the miners were refusing to come out of the Bafustain gold mine for fear of arrest, but community leaders who spoke for the miners said they had been left trapped underground after police removed ropes and a pulley system the miners had used to climb into and out of the mine. We now move on to sports news. The All-Ireland Age Groups and Inter-League Netball Tournament concluded recently at the Air Force grounds.
Air Force netball team won the Women's Championship of the Group A of the tournament. The tournament has been organized by the Western Provincial Netball Association for the 30th occasion. About 100 teams representing schools and sports clubs participated at this tournament. The Air Force team and Kurunegala district team have been qualified for the finals of Group A, and the Air Force team won the finals. Under-19 school championship was claimed by Presbyterian Girls School in Dehivala, and Sujata Girls College became the Under-17 champions.
In the meantime, Northern District Women's Team won the match against Auckland Women's Team in the Super Smash Women's T20 tournament. Chamari Athapathu, who represented the Northern District team, won the Best Players Award of this match. The tournament is being played in New Zealand. The match was played at the Sedan Park grounds in Hamilton. Batting first, Northern District Women's team scored 152 runs for 7 wickets in their 20 overs. Playing a superb inning, Chamari Athapathu scored 71 runs in 52 deliveries with 10 boundaries and 2 sixes. In reply, Auckland Women's team only scored 139 runs for 7 wickets in their 20 overs. Accordingly, the Northern District Women's team recorded 13 runs victory in this match. Well, that's it on the news we have for you tonight. Join us again tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Sharifa signing off together with Charita. Have a pleasant night.
Good night.